All right, today we're going on an incredible journey. But we're not going to some distant land. We're going deep inside our own bodies. We're about to uncover the essential life processes, these amazing, hidden systems that are working every single second just to keep us alive. So let me ask you a question. How does a sandwich that you ate for lunch turn into the energy you need to go run around a soccer field a few hours later? How does that even happen? Well, the answer is in this beautifully complex series of events we call life processes. It's all about how our body turns simple food into powerful fuel. So here's our roadmap for this little tour. We're going to start with the spark of life, then we'll follow the food's great adventure. After that, we'll connect the dots and see how we get from air to energy, and we'll wrap things up with a quick trip through the animal kingdom. Okay, first up, the spark of life. What really separates living things from, say, a rock? What are those core functions that define life itself? Well, that's where this term life processes comes in. It's really just a catch-all for all the vital jobs an organism has to do to survive. We're talking about nutrition, getting food, respiration, turning that food into energy, excretion, getting rid of the waste, and of course, reproduction, making more life. Without these, life just isn't possible. Now for section 2, and this is a fun one, the food's great adventure. Let's actually follow that sandwich, step by step, from the very first bite all the way to where it gets absorbed by your body. And here is the map for our journey. It's this long, winding tube called the alimentary canal. It literally starts at your mouth and travels all the way through your body. And believe me, every single part of this tube has a very specific, very important job to do. We can break this whole adventure down into 5 main stops. It all kicks off in the mouth, then it's a trip down the esophagus to the stomach. From there, it's onto the small intestine. That's where the most important work gets done. And finally, it wraps up in the large intestine. So let's take a look at each stop. Digestion begins instantly, the moment food enters your mouth. And this simple experiment proves it. If you add iodine to starchy rice, it turns this dark blue-black color. But if you test rice that you've already chewed for a bit, no color change. Why? Because the enzymes in your saliva have already gotten to work, breaking down those complex starches into simple sugars. Pretty cool, right? Now, once you swallow, that food doesn't just fall down into your stomach. No way. Your esophagus uses these powerful wave-like muscle contractions. It's a process called peristalsis to actively push the food downward. It's kind of like squeezing a tube of toothpaste from the top to get everything out at the bottom. Next stop, the stomach. Think of it as a super powerful muscular blender. Its walls are constantly churning and mixing your food with some really potent digestive juices. And a key ingredient here is acid. It's like a bouncer at a club. It kills off most of the harmful bacteria while also helping break the food down into this semi-liquid mush, getting it ready for the main event. And that next stage is the small intestine. But honestly, there is nothing small about its length. Any guesses? Go on, take a guess. It's around 6 meters. That's about 20 feet long. To put that in perspective, that's roughly twice the height of a classroom, all coiled up neatly inside you. So why on earth is it so long? Because this is where the real magic happens. The inside lining is covered with millions of these tiny finger-like things called villi. It's like a shaggy towel. The texture gives it way more surface area to absorb water, right? Well, the villi do the exact same thing, creating this huge surface area to soak up all those vital nutrients and send them straight into your bloodstream. So, okay, the nutrients are in our blood. Mission accomplished, right? Not quite. How do our cells actually use them for energy? Well, that brings us to section 3, from air to energy, and the incredible role of just breathing. This is the system that makes it all possible. When you take a breath, air travels from your nose, down your windpipe, and deep into your lungs, which are filled with millions of tiny little air sacs. This is the spot where the outside world meets your inside world. Now, check this out. Look at the difference between the air we breathe in and the air we breathe out. We inhale air that's about 21% oxygen, but we exhale air that's only 16% oxygen. And look at carbon dioxide. We breathe out about 100 times more than we breathe in. So what happened in between? Where did the oxygen go, and where did all that extra carbon dioxide come from? Well, the answer is happening right now, inside every single cell in your body. It's a chemical reaction called cellular respiration. The glucose you got from your food finally meets up with the oxygen you got from the air. And when they react, bam, it releases the energy that powers literally everything you do. And where are the byproducts? A little bit of water and all that extra carbon dioxide that you then breathe out. All right, for our final section, let's zoom out a little. The human body is amazing, for sure, but it's just one of nature's brilliant solutions. So welcome to Nature's Many Designs, a lightning tour of how other animals get these jobs done. You can really see here how form follows function. On the left, that's our digestive system. On the right, that's the system of a ruminant, like a cow. Now, to break down super tough grass, cows have this incredibly complex, multi-chambered stomach. It even lets them bring food back up to chew it again. A totally different diet requires a totally different design. And it's the exact same story for breathing. We use lungs to pull oxygen out of the air, but a fish needs to get its oxygen from water. So they have gills, these amazing specialized structures that are super efficient at extracting every last bit of dissolved oxygen as water flows over them. Two different worlds, two perfectly elegant solutions for survival. But here's the most important takeaway of all. None of these systems works alone, not one. The digestive system provides the fuel. The respiratory system provides the oxygen. And the circulatory system, your bloodstream, is the highway that connects it all, delivering the goods and hauling away the trash. It's this beautiful, coordinated team, all working together in perfect harmony. So from that sandwich powering a soccer game to the tiny villi feeding your cells, all of this is happening inside you, right now, without you even thinking about it. We've explored how these incredible systems work, which really just leaves one last question. These processes power our bodies, but what is it that powers our curiosity to understand them?